Please consider supporting our channel by liking this video and subscribing for more content. A Journey into Terror, Exploring Horror Movies 2. 1. Halloween. Halloween is a classic horror film released in 1978, directed by John Carpenter. The story revolves around a psychopathic killer named Michael Myers, who escapes from a mental institution and returns to his hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois on Halloween night. As a child, Michael murdered his older sister, and years later, he is fixated on continuing his killing spree. Dr. Sam Loomis, Michael's psychiatrist, follows him to Haddonfield, knowing the danger he poses. Meanwhile, a teenage girl named Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, becomes the primary target of Michael's relentless pursuit. Laurie, along with her friends Annie and Linda, is preparing for a night of babysitting on Halloween. As the night progresses, Michael stalks Laurie and her friends, gradually eliminating anyone who enters his path. Laurie becomes increasingly aware of the danger she's in and tries to protect the children she's babysitting. Dr. Loomis, determined to stop Michael, searches for him throughout the town, warning the local authorities about the imminent threat. The tension rises as Laurie, the last survivor, confronts Michael inside a house. In a climactic battle, Laurie manages to injure him, buying enough time for Dr. Loomis to arrive. However, when Loomis goes to check on Michael's fallen body, he discovers that he has vanished, leaving his fate unknown. The movie ends with Laurie's traumatic experience and the chilling realization that evil may still be lurking in the shadows. Halloween is known for its suspenseful atmosphere, iconic mask-wearing killer, and memorable performance by Jamie Lee Curtis, launching her career as a prominent screen queen. There have been several sequels and reboots in the Halloween franchise. The 1978 film has served as the foundation for an extensive series of movies that explore the story of Michael Myers and the events surrounding the Halloween night in Haddonfield. Here's an overview of the sequels. Halloween 2, 1981, directed by Rick Rosenthal. This sequel picks up immediately after the events of the original film as Michael Myers continues his pursuit of Laurie Strode in the hospital where she has been admitted. It was intended to conclude the original storyline. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, 1982. This entry is unique in the franchise as it doesn't follow the story of Michael Myers. Instead, it tells a standalone tale involving an evil mask-making company that plans to execute a horrific plan on Halloween night. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, 1988. The series returned to the Michael Myers storyline with this installment. It takes place 10 years after the events of the original film and follows Michael's escape from a mental institution and his renewed pursuit of Laurie's young daughter, Jamie Lloyd. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, 1989. This sequel continues the story from the previous film, focusing on Michael's relentless pursuit of Jamie Lloyd, who is now living in a children's clinic. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, 1995, also known as Halloween 6. This film delves further into the mythology of Michael Myers, introducing a cult and exploring the origins of his curse. Halloween H20, 20 years later, 1998. This installment ignores the events of the previous 3 movies and serves as a direct sequel to Halloween 2. It brings back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, who has assumed a new identity and is forced to confront Michael Myers once again. Halloween, Resurrection, 2002. Following the events of Halloween H20, this film features a group of college students live-streaming a reality show in the old Myers house, unaware that Michael Myers is still alive and lurking in the shadows. Halloween, 2007, and Halloween 2, 2009, directed by Rob Zombie. These films are a reboot of the franchise, offering a new interpretation of Michael Myers' backstory and events loosely inspired by the original films. Halloween, 2018, and Halloween Kills, 2021. These recent films serve as a direct sequel to the original 1978 film, ignoring all the other sequels. Jamie Lee Curtis returns as Laurie Strode, who must confront Michael Myers once again after his escape from a mental institution. It's worth noting that the timeline and continuity of the Halloween franchise can be complex due to various retcons and alternate storylines. 2. A Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a popular horror film released in 1984, directed by Wes Craven. The story follows a group of teenagers in the fictional town of Springwood, Ohio, who are plagued by a malevolent and supernatural killer named Freddy Krueger. Unlike traditional killers, Freddy attacks his victims in their dreams, using their deepest fears against them. If he kills them in their dreams, they die in reality as well. The film centers around Nancy Thompson, played by Heather Langenkamp, and her group of friends. They all begin experiencing vivid nightmares involving a burned man with a glove armed with razor-sharp blades on his fingers. As the nightmares escalate, they realize they are being targeted by the same entity, Freddy Krueger. Nancy delves into the history of the town and discovers that Freddy was a child killer who was burned alive by a group of parents seeking justice. Now, Freddy seeks revenge by haunting the dreams of the parents' children. As the teenagers' fear and paranoia intensify, they try to stay awake, fearing the consequences of falling asleep. However, sleep deprivation takes its toll and Freddy's attacks become increasingly brutal and deadly. Nancy realizes that the only way to defeat Freddy is to bring him out of the dream world and into the real world. In a climactic final confrontation, Nancy confronts Freddy and manages to pull him out of her dreams. With the help of her resourceful and supportive friends, she fights back, using her determination and ingenuity to overcome Freddy's powers. The movie ends with a sense of victory as Nancy defeats Freddy and seemingly banishes him. However, a twist ending suggests that Freddy may not be truly defeated, leaving room for the sequels that follow. A Nightmare on Elm Street is known for its inventive and chilling dream sequences, the iconic character of Freddy Krueger portrayed by Robert Englund, and its exploration of the blurred line between dreams and reality. The film spawned a successful franchise and is considered a classic in the horror genre. A Nightmare on Elm Street spawned a franchise that consists of several sequels and crossovers. Here's an overview of the sequels and related films in the series. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, 1985. The first sequel in the series follows a new set of characters, with Freddy Krueger continuing his reign of terror. This film explores the possession of a teenage boy named Jesse by Freddy, who uses him as a vessel to enter the real world. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, 1987. Considered one of the most popular sequels, this film brings back Nancy Thompson from the original film as a dream expert who helps a group of troubled teenagers, known as the Dream Warriors, battle Freddy Krueger. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, 1988. This installment follows the survivors from the previous film as they face Freddy once again. The film introduces a new protagonist, Alice, who gains the ability to pull people into her dreams and uses this power to fight against Freddy. A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, 1989. Continuing the story of Alice, this film explores the concept of Freddy attempting to be reborn through the dreams of Alice's unborn child. The movie delves into the dark and twisted origins of Freddy's past. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, 1991. Marketed as the final installment in the original series, this film takes place years after the previous films. It follows a young amnesiac named John Doe who travels to Springwood to confront Freddy Krueger once and for all. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, 1994. Departing from the traditional continuity of the series, this film blurs the line between fiction and reality. It features several actors from the original film playing themselves, as they are haunted by a demonic entity taking the form of Freddy Krueger. Freddy vs. Jason, 2003. A crossover film that brings together the characters Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th franchise. The movie follows their clash as they battle for control over the dreams of Springwood's teenagers. In addition to these films, there was also a reboot of the series simply titled A Nightmare on Elm Street released in 2010. The reboot featured a new cast and updated storyline while maintaining the core concept of Freddy Krueger haunting the dreams of teenagers. The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is known for its imaginative dream sequences, dark humor, and the iconic portrayal of Freddy Krueger by Robert Englund. It has left a significant impact on the horror genre and remains a beloved series among fans. 3. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic horror film released in 1974, directed by Tobe Hooper. The story follows a group of 5 young friends, Sally, her paraplegic brother Franklin, and their friends Jerry, Kirk, and Pam, who are traveling through rural Texas to visit Sally and Franklin's grandfather's grave. Along the way, they pick up a hitchhiker who exhibits strange and erratic behavior. After the hitchhiker becomes aggressive and cuts himself, the group forcefully ejects him from their van. Continuing their journey, the group stumbles upon an isolated farmhouse. Curiosity leads them to investigate, unaware that they have entered the territory of a sadistic family of cannibals. Inside the house, they encounter Leatherface, a mentally disturbed and chainsaw-wielding killer who wears a mask made of human skin. One by one, the friends fall victim to Leatherface and his deranged family. They are subjected to brutal acts of violence and torture in a nightmarish struggle for survival. Sally, the last remaining survivor, endures a harrowing ordeal as she desperately tries to escape the clutches of Leatherface and his macabre family. Throughout the film, the tension and horror escalate as the sense of dread and hopelessness pervades. The relentless pursuit of the friends by Leatherface and his family creates an atmosphere of terror and dread. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is known for its gritty and intense portrayal of violence, its raw and realistic style, and its impact on the slasher genre. The film has become a cult classic and is regarded as one of the most influential horror movies of all time. Help us reach a wider audience by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your support goes a long way in helping us create more awesome videos.